I'm live. You're live. So it don't matter how much you fucking scrub that goddamn fucking lens of that camera, you still look like shit when you're using a shitty camera. What's going on, guys? It's me, Matt, and I'm here to talk to you about some denture shit because I've been thinking about it a lot recently, especially being as I no longer have bottom dentures due to the fact of breaking them. I think about my teeth quite often. But I don't know, I've seen a lot of people, I'd say the last year, I mean, it's been more than a year, but definitely a lot more people in this last year now that have been commenting on older videos who, leave their feelings, their comments, their concerns, their feedback, stuff like that on videos, which is fine, but it's more or less funny when someone comments on something and says something like, don't do that because that's not the right way of doing it. And then it's just kind of like, well, you commented on a video I posted a year ago and I'm still fine, so obviously it wasn't bad. I don't really see why people think that commenting on a video that literally says like 2015 or 16 on it is like relevant to this time. It's not, but that's not even the more reason why I was doing this. More or less, it's more for the people who comment and tell me that they're on their way of getting dentures and that they're scared or that they're worried and they don't know what to expect, and that, fingers crossed from what they've heard from me, that it turns out is good. And a lot of people also, they spend the time of, they don't realize that it wasn't like one day I woke up and was like, fuck my teeth, I'm done with them, and then I just got rid of them. Like, it was never like that. It was more or less the fact that I simply had really bad teeth, like really bad teeth, and I dealt with horrible pain. And I'm sure that anybody out there with mouth pain knows what I'm trying to talk about. But my nerves were rotting away. They were just being destroyed by the rotting of the teeth. I was getting massive infections in my mouth that were leading me to have to go to the hospital, get them drained because it was that nasty pussy filled inside there. And, honestly, I never once even thought back then when all that was going on that the outcome or that a alternative path that I could honestly take was to just remove the teeth. I just never thought about that. It wasn't until I got my third dentist, and mainly it was because when you show up to a dentist with really bad teeth, and I'm talking like teeth that aren't savable. I mean, they're just slowly decaying themselves. Dentists don't really want to take you because they see it as, what's the point of helping somebody's mouth that's already destroyed, And I had one doctor, his name was Dr. George. He was nice as hell. As soon as I walked in, he saw my teeth. He instantly was like, brought that whole option up to me about the fact of that at the stage I was at and with the way my mouth was looking, maybe it wasn't even worth having them. And so through him and through talking to surgeons and stuff like that, I ended up having all of the bottom row of my teeth removed from the front to the back. So I had, this whole chunk of my bottom left mouth removed. That was probably about a year and a half before I got dentures. And that was just to prevent that side from getting infected again because of how often that it was getting infected. Hello, Kentucky lady. And so that was all just to prevent the infection. It had nothing to actually do with the fact of like my road to dentures. It wasn't until about, I'd say, like 9 months went by and this side had healed and everything was good, that I started making that realization that there was no pain in this section of my mouth, and that was amazing. That was something I had not had to have not dealt with for a long time. We're not talking like pain like, oh, I take an ibuprofen, it's going to go away. Like, we're talking, I woke up in the morning, and I'm not exaggerating about this at all. I would wake up in the morning and take between 10 and 15 200 milligram ibuprofens every morning. And that was just the morning. I was doing the same thing in the afternoon. I was doing the same thing before I was going to bed. The night before I went to surgery, I was literally taking about 60 ibuprofens a day. Okay. Now, when you look at the bottle and it says don't take more than 12 in 24 hours, it's mind-boggling, blowing to think that you could possibly take 60 in a day and not fucking die. And I was doing this for months. So, mainly my family, but a lot of people were concerned about my health, and for a while there, because it seemed like it was going downhill on top of everything else. So it was, people attributed that to the fact that I was taking so much ibuprofen. I think it was just a sickly part of my life. But we talked to a surgeon who was going to put implants into my mouth. I remember I drove up there. I sat down in front of him and another woman, and we talked for like an hour straight. And they told me everything was going to happen, how they were going to do it, how it was going to happen, what I would wake up to, and all of that. And that's probably the first time in my entire life that I can honestly admit that I had to make an adult decision on my own. Okay, this is obviously my life that we're dealing with. My parents are obviously the ones that are backing me and trying to force me down a path of getting things fixed because they see what it's doing to their son. But it was more that fact of, this is my choice. This is my life, and I'm in control of it. And so it's more of, what do I want to do or what don't I want to do? And so we got done talking about it, and they set this envelope in front of me. And it's pretty much like a contract, like, hey, this is everything it's going to cost, blah, blah, blah. Sign this paper, and you'll be on your way. And, like, surgery will be scheduled, and everything will be good. Well, the problem is that they leave you. They're like, we'll leave you to read through it, and then we'll come back in a couple minutes. And it's like, all right, that's fine. I don't know why it really be significantly worth anything for them to leave, but I guess it did give me time to have mental thought process to realize that I wasn't going to get implants. Nothing about it bothered me. Didn't really excite me to think that they were going to drill and put metal rods into my jaw, but also being as the surgery I was going to have to get, I had something they call dinosaur teeth, and it's obviously not the technical term for it, nor do I remember it because it was some long drawn out name that was confusing and it made no sense. But pretty much for dinosaur teeth, every tooth's got, like roots. You got like 4 roots that come out of the bottom of your tooth. Problem is my teeth, for whatever reason, when I was developing, all those roots fused together into one. So when they pulled my teeth out, they thought it was going to be really hard. On the opposite side, it was actually extremely easy because there was no roots holding on. The moment they grabbed onto my teeth, and they said they put just the littlest pressure to pull up, the whole tooth would just slide out. So it's actually kind of scary to think that they were at that point where I was, because it probably would have been no time at all. I could have probably just started pulling my own fucking teeth out, which is scary. And I probably would have fainted and died during bleeding to death because I don't do well with blood. So, but like I said, before surgery, they didn't know that it was going to be easy. They thought that my roots fused together into my bone because of the way, the teeth go into your jaw socket. They thought, like, that the bones had fused with the teeth, and that they were going to have to like physically break my jaw just to surgically remove my teeth, wire my mouth shut, and I was going to wake up with a broken jaw and fucked up mouth. And I was like, yeah, fuck you guys. None of that bothers me. Not the scariness of breaking a jaw, having to go through all that. It honestly all came down to the fact that they were like, here, we'll leave this in front of you and leave. Then they left. I opened the envelope or this pamphlet and folder up that's got all the information in it. And what do you know, at the very bottom of page 1, it says, going to cost $34,000. And I'm like, what? No. Look, I like my teeth and I love my body and I want to live, but there's no way that I'm going to value my mouth at $30,000. It's like buying a car, okay? And when you get into the actual details, like I was doing, So I'm not just complaining like first world problems. Oh, $30,000 to fix the mouth I fucked up. Oh, bad, bad. No. The anesthesia, because I refused to be awake during it, that costs a fuck ton of money. The fact that they were going to have to drill into my jaw to put those metal bars in, the metal bars, the fake teeth that they were going to put in, all that added up to that. The surgery cost like $6,000 or something. It was cheap for the thought of having my mouth completely removed. So I chose to wait until they came back, and they sat down. They asked me if I had any further questions, and that's when I broke it to them. I'm not going to have you guys do this. And they were like, wait, what? Confused that we had just spent all that time. And then I was like, no one ever once told me what the price was. And I kind of thought going into it, they might be expensive, but I wasn't thinking that expensive. So I went the cheapest route at that point. You know, I want teeth. I want something that can work and that can fucking eat some food. But at the same time, I ain't trying to spend an arm and a leg just to be able to eat again. I fucking the gum shit the rest of my life. It really had to come down to it. But naturally, dentures are the cheapest route. Now, after surgery and the dentures, I paid like $13,000 some dollars. Because my insurance at the time actually told me that they weren't going to cover me at all for any of it until after the surgery. Then they covered about $3,000 or $4,000, which awesome. Thank you, insurance at the time, because I don't know who it was or it was like many years ago, but they helped me out when they said they wouldn't. So that was great. But in all, the surgery cost like 17, I think it was, which I mean, I know it's not too far away from 30, but still fuck ton cheaper. And then like I said, I only ended up spending about 13 grand myself after the insurance kicked in, just because that's obviously what was left after they kicked in. And I took me the longest. That was probably the longest thing I've ever paid off in my life, to be honest. That, you know, I'm not made of money, and no company or, you know, organization kind of thing or industry wanted to, you know, give me money, or not like give me money, but wanted to loan me money. So I just had to do small payments. I had to find somebody, which, you know, this is all private information, which I'm not going to share with the world, but I got a private set of investors, which I will be nice enough and let you know that it was family. Okay. So I'm not telling you how distant they were. They might have been cousins. They might have been my aunt and uncle. Might have been my family themselves. Might have been my grandparents. Who knows? I do, but I mean, you don't. But what it really comes down to is that I wasn't trying to rip nobody off. It wasn't like I didn't pay them back, because I did. It was just more or less the fact that for dental work, you have to have the money up front. Like when I walked in to have surgery, I had to hand them $13,000 or they wouldn't do it. That was just it. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to have that lump sum. I could make a payment on something, but I couldn't just take a bulk money. I was trying to get loans from pretty much everywhere. I was pretty much out of luck. And some very extremely nice family members of mine reached out and opted to loan me the money so that I could get this procedure done, and that, you know, I could just pay them back in due time, which, like I said, I think it took me like it was about 3.5 years, which still, I know it's not super long, but it seemed like a lifetime to have to keep paying somebody. But yeah, so, you know, that was like the whole experience, and how, like, obviously I was in a lot of pain, and it's like the pain drove me to that. It was to the point where, and this is morbidly sad sounding, I know, but it was either to the point where something was going to get done with my mouth, or I was going to put a bullet in my brain, because I was fucking tired of not getting sleep at night, of having every waking fucking day and moment of my life just be constant nerve throbbing pain from my jaw. I sat and stood all the time like this, I always had a hold of my head because it hurt. People at my work told me all the time to stop, but they'd catch me sitting there cracking my neck from how bad my jaw hurt. It would make me want to crack my neck, which then led to now my neck being all fucked up because I did that. It's just one of those things where you need to start paying attention, learning, and realizing when things aren't worth dealing with and when they are, you know. And so that's pretty much was that how that whole set up. And then the second part that I really wanted to say is like the mindset going into it. When you decide to get your mouth removed, they will approach you like you're cutting an arm off. It's not the same. I understand where they come from and they say it's the same because it's not. I'd much rather lose my teeth every single day than ever have to lose an arm. But I could also see how, to a weak and feeble mind, the thought process of having to remove your mouth and having no teeth ever is a bit disturbing. I'm a mentally strong person. I do pretty good on my own, and I can think. I usually can calm myself and thinkingly talk to myself into making the most mature and or reasonable decision kind of thing in most situations. So obviously, it was pretty bad when it came down to a point where I was even willing to just say fuck this and my life just to not have to deal with pain because that's not worth it. I mean, not taking your life isn't worth it is what the way I wanted to make that sound. If I was told right then and there, hey, we're going to shoot you or you have to live in this pain the rest of your life, I would have chose to live in the pain the rest of my life. I'm not going to choose death just because it hurt. But there were so many nights, and it's when you explain this to somebody who either hasn't dealt with it or hasn't seen or heard somebody else in their life deal with it, it doesn't sound that bad, but I'd wake up crying like almost every night because the pain would be so bad that I'd be crying while sleeping, okay? That my body hurt that bad while I was sleeping that it still chose to cry. And then I'd wake up crying and I'd sit up and I'd take my fists, and I'm not lying about this, and I'd just start punching myself, okay? Now this sounds crazy. Like, wow, this kid's got a mental disorder or something. But no, what it was is I was so frustrated about never being able to get any sleep because every time I fell asleep for a few hours, I woke up to pain that I started telling myself that if I could knock myself out, that I would pass back out and then I'd sleep again. And I know, crazy, harsh thing to even fucking think about, but that's how bad the pain was. I just needed it gone. It was the most wretched, horrid thing. I don't really have a lot of enemies. I'm a very nice guy. It's hard really to set me off in a way to make me think that I could hate you for a long period of time. But there's not a single person in this world that I would have fucking wished had to deal with any ounce of the fucking pain that I had to deal with just because it's horrible. It's really not worth dealing with. And so the mindset of me going into it was, oh my God, I got to get rid of these things because I don't, it's going to cause more problems and danger to myself than it does keeping them. So mentally, it wasn't hard to think of, yeah, I'm removing my mouth. So what? You know, they wanted me to go see a shrink. They wanted me to talk to these therapists about me losing my mouth. And I was like, it's just teeth. It's like, you don't, I don't know. Like, yes, you can get a leg cut off. Yes, you can get an arm cut off. Yes, you can get replacements and still be able to do stuff. But the replacements I got for my teeth, if they weren't there, I'd still be able to eat. If you didn't have the replacement for your arm, you ain't picking shit up, you know? That's how I see it. Removing the teeth was like, really? I'm gonna have a problem with that? Like, this is what you think that I'm gonna have a problem with? Like, dude, the more thing I'm worried about is waking up with a broken jaw, which thank you. I did not have to do that. But That's what I mean, you know? And so people comment all the time on my videos and they're constantly saying, I have a week or I have a month until I'm getting my dentures. I'm terrified. I don't know how to feel. And don't get me wrong, I was scared. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I wasn't, because to be honest, the doctor hooked me up with a volume so I could take it the morning before. And wow, man, never having taken a volume before, but taking a Xanax and had taken a Xanax for fun just because my buddies were all addicted and I didn't quite know the dangers of getting addicted to those kind of things. So, I just started taking them for funsies because it was like, why not? They're always around me. And it was fun. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I enjoyed the way it made me feel. But once I watched all my buddies go down a route where they were so horribly addicted to them and they were taking way more than they ever should. It was, I barely did them, and that was still enough of a light bulb in my brain to be like, you should probably stop taking these so you don't follow that same path. But volume is the same thing, just like the real thing. It's like powerful. And I was in the best fucking mood before we had surgery. I was happy. I was ready. I sat down in that fucking chair and I was like, tear me up, doc. I'm ready. It was great. So if you are really that worried about it, I would highly suggest possibly I wouldn't go into your doctor and be like, doc, I'm scared. Give me volume. Because then you might be like, you sound like a fiender and somebody who probably shouldn't have it. But, if you simply go in and explain to your doctor, I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared about this. They will give you an anxiety medication for that day to be able to take it so you can show up and not be completely like disturbed on in the inside, which is great. But so being scared is going to be there regardless. I mean, I was in a great mood. It still doesn't mean I didn't understand that what I was going for, that what was going to happen, but it helped a lot, And then, honestly, and I know that a lot of you out there can't use the same method because of the fact of the way it worked for me in comparison is obviously going to be different for the way it worked for you. But I decided about 2 weeks prior to surgery that I was going to record my journey and post it on YouTube because I had already made YouTube videos at the time. And I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I'm successful now, but I have like 400 subscribers compared to like the 100 I had like 2 years ago. So it just got to the point where I'm sorry, I got a comment left on, I don't know if it was this video or the other video, and as soon as I read it, my mind instantly zipped away and I forgot. So see, that's what you get for leaving me comments, because I actually do read what you say on the right side, and I just have yet to, I'm trying to get done talking about what I want to talk about before I, read through and answer and comment on what you guys said or whatever, just simply so that way I don't have moments like this where I'm playing brain dead, where I don't remember what I'm trying to talk about. But oh, YouTube, right? Anyways, so already having a, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make this sound like I'm famous. Just having an established channel, one that I had already made and already had videos going up on, and I had vlogged at that point, but vlogging wasn't getting no views. I mean, gaming videos weren't getting no views. And so I just kind of thought in my head at that moment was like, instead of going at this like most people and be like, let's try to get millions of billions of views and being multi-million subscribers and stuff. Let's just explain and show everybody what it's like to have to go through it and to get dentures at 24 years old, and try to help coach other people. And I'm really glad I did that. I made that decision to openly do that because the amount of people that have flooded to me and have told me that I've literally physically changed their life for the better because they just got done getting dentures and they were down in the dumps and they watched the videos of mine about how you might be beat down, but in a couple of weeks you're going to be smiling and everybody sees you is going to be jealous of the smile that you got because they got real teeth that are fucking crooked and colorful and all kinds of shit. And they're all sitting there like, damn, man, that person takes care of their teeth. Now, sure, you know deep down inside that's because you fucked up and that you didn't take care of your teeth. And that's why, or you did drugs, one of the two. I'm just one way or another. You obviously chose to do something that destroyed your mouth. And that is obviously, it weighs on you. I mean, I ate sugar. I didn't brush my teeth. I drank pop religiously, like I still do to this day. But I would go back and change that if I could. Like, high school is one of those things where you always get those people out there that always go, man, high school was the best years, or man, I wish I could have gone back and changed who I was in high school or what I did in high school and stuff like that. But not me. I love the way my life has turned out. I'm sure I'm dirt fucking poor, like beyond dirt poor. Um, I I don't have a family. Like, I mean, I have a mom and a dad and a sister, but I mean, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife, and I don't even have a girlfriend. And I'm just like, there's a lot of things I still want in this life that I'm nowhere near, and I'm already 28 years old. And honestly, that stuff scares me more than the thought of when I had to get dentures, because I'm getting to that. I mean, I know I say I'm 28, I'm getting old, and people are out there like in their 40s and 50s or whatever, even older, and they're like, "You're not old, you're fucking young as hell." But I mean, just think of it like I'm almost 30 years old, and I've not even even come close to attempted to have like really started a family. And like, being as that's like a huge goal of mine, it scares me because I don't want to be some old as fuck dude by the time I ever get some kids and shit. But high school, I barely passed high school. I failed. I mean, I passed every year, so I technically was freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, just the same years that I would have. But I pretty much passed by like the minimum that you can pass by, which is like you have to pass like 2 classes a year at least to be able to move on to your next year. So I was only passing 2 classes, and the other ones I was failing with like F's, and I just didn't care. And then my senior year, I buckled down. I sacrificed my entire day and my entire night. I went into school at 6:30 in the morning, and I didn't get home until 9:30 at night. And inside of that 1 year period of my senior year, I graduated with the highest grade point average I'd ever had, which was like a 3.3, which I know to some people is like, that really isn't that great. But I mean, when you go most of your high school with a grade point average doesn't even equal 1, 3.3 is huge, okay? And that was mainly because I passed about 13 or 14 classes on my senior year. I had to make up all the classes I failed my freshman, my sophomore, and my junior year, all my senior year. And if it wasn't also for the high school teachers who stayed over late nights to help me finish my classwork and get this shit done so I could graduate, I would not have passed it. So I do owe all of them a lot of credit. Now you hear all the way I just explained my high school, and you're like, wait, you wouldn't go back? You wouldn't want to change that? And it's like, fuck no. I had awesome friends. I had awesome experiences. I had experiences that grew me into the man I am today, the kind, heartfelt man I am today. I was a dick, a douchebag. I picked on people because I got picked on a lot when I was a kid. So I used that against other people in high school when I grew up and I was big enough where everybody was small and me. And then I picked on people, and I just became a person I didn't want to be and didn't even realize it, denied myself that that's what I'd become. I told myself that I wasn't that person until some life events happened that turned Matt Freeman's life around, mainly when he sat in court and they told him that the next time he was going to get in trouble, he would go to jail as an adult because he was 1 month away from his 18th birthday. And that is when Matt decided that he did not want to become a bad person. I didn't expect to ever be in trouble with the law, let alone be that close to like going to jail and shit, because I was making some really dumbass decisions and, all that stuff. But all of that is what you call learning experience. It's life, okay? Now, if I went back and changed that, sure, I might have became a nicer, better person earlier, but who knows where I would have ended up now? You know what I'm saying? Almost failing high school and busting my ass my senior year has made me now to the point in this part of my life where I can honestly feel like I can accomplish whatever I put my mind to, whatever goals I set myself to, because I obviously proved in my senior year of high school that I decided out of 4 years that I finally actually wanted to graduate with my class. And then I went and did all that and passed high school. So, I mean, it's obviously proof that I had no issue doing it. It was just the trying, the effort, you know? And so pretty much now to the point where it's like, you know, if I get to a point where I start doubting myself and I don't think I can do something, you know, I remind myself of high school. And that's why I would never want to go back. High school is one of the greatest motivators I have. But I definitely would have liked to still go back in time to the high school me and punch and slap me around a bit and explain about how important it was that I kept my teeth, because that was about the time where I really started giving up on them, like stop brushing them and, you know, stuff like that. And so it really only took a matter of time at that point until my mouth just rotted right out because I wasn't taking care of it and I was doing nothing but throw everything that ate the shit out of teeth at it. So I definitely love to go back in time to just simply explain to myself back then that teeth are important and that you actually would enjoy having your real teeth when you grow up, even though you don't. You know, like obviously I don't have my real teeth. I don't get to grow up with my real teeth, and I now have to obviously live with that forever. But at the same time, of all things in my life, all body parts that I've destroyed through myself, my teeth are probably really not that big of a deal. I got horrible back. I got horrible knees. I've already had a knee replacement at 27. I mean, I was 17, I think, when I got a knee replacement, which I know you're like, whoa, old man knees at 17, but no, somebody kicked me in the kneecap in the soccer game and snapped my leg backwards. And yeah, I laid on the ground for a minute, kind of thought something didn't feel right, like my leg had popped, but I thought it was one of those weird things, like maybe my hip had popped out of the socket, but it was like, you know, like I'd stand up and it'd be good. And I stood up and I took a step forward and I fell. And obviously in shock, and my coaches are running toward me because they realize obviously something's wrong. And obviously I'm in shock, so I'm trying to stand back up because I'm like, wait, what's going on? Why can't I stand up? I don't get this. And it wasn't until I got my leg under me that I noticed that my other leg was like completely sideways in a way that your knee is not supposed to bend. And like my ankle was like all like over here because obviously nothing was connected to control my foot, so it also was dead. And then I just sat down and grabbed my leg, and it had like that face, like that pure shock face of, oh my God. The dude got kicked from the soccer league and was never able to play again, which is good because he totally did it on purpose. A little bit of vengeance because I had scored on him, rubbed it in his face, like, nah, look at me, I'm better than you. So he just kicked me right in the kneecap. Thought it'd be funny. Didn't realize he snapped my leg, pretty much ruined my soccer career right then and there. I can't say that. I played a lot of soccer after that, but you know, surgeries, all this stuff, it sucks. It really sucks. You shouldn't have to go through it. You should have taken better care of your teeth. There's nobody else to blame but you. You might sit there and say, I had bad enamel, and I was born with no enamel or bad enamel, and my dentist never really gave me a proper plan to take care of it. Because I've heard a lot of people bitch about that. But here's the thing, you little bitches. I, too, was born without enamel. I don't use that as an excuse. You know why? Do you know how you prevent that? Use fucking toothpaste. That's what toothpaste is for. It protects the enamel on your teeth. Oh, well, I don't have any. Well, then if you use toothpaste still, it still cleans your teeth and keeps them clean. I didn't use toothpaste. My teeth ate away. What do you want from me? You know? Like, there's so many people literally complain on my channel, on my videos, and try to make it sound like I don't know what I'm talking about and that it is somebody else's fault and that it's nothing to do with them. And it's like, you know how dumb you sound? For real. to think that your mouth rotted out of your teeth rotted out of itself, and you think that you have nothing to do with that? You're fucking crazy. And you don't even deserve dentures at that point, because that's just fucking sad. You are the reason your mouth is destroyed. Whether it was drugs, sugar, and just not taking care of them, or maybe there's even more things out there that honestly I'm not even in on at this point. Only reason I say drugs first, and that's one of the things that drove me crazy more than anything, is because about every place you go, and especially if you're out there right now and you're in 35 minutes into this and somehow you're still watching this, and you somehow have never talked to anybody about this, but you're thinking about wanting to do it, or and like you haven't talked to a surgeon, you haven't talked to a dentist, or the people going to make your dentures, or none of that stuff. You haven't talked to any of them. They're going to ask you if you did drugs, okay? And they don't mean to sound mean, because every time I ever got asked that prior to me getting dentures, I was the meanest, shittiest person to everybody who asked me. Like, so how'd you do this? Did you do drugs? Or then I'd be like, fuck you. No, I ate too much sugar. And they're always like, whoa, I'm sorry. It's just, we have to ask. And it's just simply they have to ask because I don't know what it is. I have a buddy of mine who knows a guy who actually went through this, and my buddy told me that story prior to me getting dentures, not thinking that I'd have to deal with it, but just that here's a guy he knows that has dentures, and this is some bullshit he dealt with. And the guy I know, he works with a guy who used to do meth, I think it was, and he had his teeth rot out from doing meth. And that once he stopped doing meth and he's got dentures, he started doing meth again, and the meth actually ate through his dentures, and he had to get another set of dentures because of how fucked they were from the meth. It might have not been meth, I'm not sure. But regardless, this meaning like there are quite a lot of drugs out there that will fuck your teeth up and or then fuck your dentures up. So when they ask you, they aren't asking you because they think you're a shitty person, or that they're looking at you like this person does drugs. They're only asking you if you do drugs because they want to explain to you that if you still do them, that if you replace your teeth with dentures, it's just going to destroy them just as fast. So they're really not coming at you trying to be rude about it. They're literally coming at you to try to be nice and respectful and try to help you and help you understand that the drugs that ate your teeth away are going to be the same drugs that eat your dentures away. But like I said, from somebody in my perspective, where it was all sugar that ever did it, and that, I mean, I'm sure the cigarettes helped a lot too, but I'm just mean like, it was never like I smoked some drug or did crack cocaine or something where it fucked my mouth up. Every time that a doctor asked me, I took that very negatively, like the doctor was looking at me like, oh, this guy's a druggie. And I'm just like, no, fuck you, doc. Who got the right to fucking say that? And then took a couple doctors until a doctor finally explained to me why people ask that question, why that's the first question always asked. But, those are just kind of some mindsets, some thoughts, some peace of minds that I could give everybody to kind of helpfully mendingly drive you guys to be prepared and ready for what you're about to do, or what you have done and what you're dealing with now. You're all great people. I'm sure that, if you need that support, please try to hit me up on YouTube. I get asked this 100 bajillion times, so I will make it clear again right now. If you want to find me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, if you go to the main page of my YouTube in the far right corner, there's all the links right there. I think it's ridiculous I have to explain this to people all the time, being as I myself watch a lot of YouTube, and I know that that's where you go to find the links for the people you're trying to watch's social networks. Now, why is it everybody that watches me does not know this? And they hound me constantly. Send me your name on Facebook. Send me a friend request. Send me a friend request. No. Do you not see how that seems strange? I'm the guy making the video, and you want me to go out of my way to find you, somebody I have no idea who you are, just so we could be friends on Facebook. That's not how this works. It works the other way. I make the videos. If you want to be my friend on Facebook, you find me on Facebook and we can be friends. I'm okay with that. I just simply am not going to go out of my way to try to find you when I don't even know who you are. Okay. But yeah, so there's that. And I'm going to go because I'm really hot. I'm like hot in here. It's like 70 some degrees in this room right now. And I got a Carhartt and a sweatshirt and a long sleeve shirt and sweat my balls off. And it's been a long night. But I hope that what. Oh, okay, yeah. Joe, how about you go fuck yourself? How about that one? Yeah. Hey, also, just to let you know, Joseph, I'm going to show up to your house and steal your dog Maximus because he got so much love and attention on my social media accounts that I feel like I should probably do a vlog with him or something so that way I can pull in all those views because your dog is adorable. Not saying your other dog is not, because they are both adorable. But obviously, puppies are more adorable because they're tiny and people like it and people click on it when they see it. So if I posted a video of me holding a puppy up in my video, like, hey, look at me and Max chilling, I'm pretty sure everybody on the YouTubes will click on it and go crazy. But anyways, I'm going to go. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, a like would be much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, you should subscribe to keep up with awesome content like this video that was 41 minutes. I literally was trying to go with like a 10 to 15 minute video, and 42 minutes later, I'm still fucking sitting here talking. Wait, does she really? All right. Now I've got to get off of here and go find Micah on Instagram that I just learned that Joe's other dog has her own Instagram. Definitely gonna go find that shit, and I'm gonna hold you to that. Like I'm really gonna come steal your dog and make a YouTube video with him. Okay, guys, have a good night. Joseph, have a good night. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys all next time. Peace out. Now, the funny thing about this is on like when I'm streaming, I have to like talk and then stop talking. And then I have to let the video catch up because everybody's behind. But this one's up to date with me. So that's why I do things like goodbye. And then just sit there awkwardly quiet because I'm used to having to wait. And then I forget I don't have to wait. And then I just feel like an idiot because I'm sitting here smiling at a camera like I'm waiting for it to catch up. Still waiting for it to catch up. And it's like it's already caught up. So I'm an idiot. Just look at my smiling face for a few minutes. How about that? Bye. Ow! There it is. Then you hit end stream, and then it asks you, are you sure you want to end your stream? No, YouTube. I just clicked on the end stream button for no fucking reason.